Welcome to Breaking News Wahala. The news this hour: a woman was seen at the library where she held a supposed children's book, allegedly, and she was speaking to the librarians about the content of this book. Supposedly, the books that had meant for the age of 1 to 10 years had graphic, pornographic cartoon drawings in them. She complained in outrose deepest concern that a 3 years old should not be exposed to spermatozoas and ovaries. A 3 years old should not see a cartoon character of a man giving a blowjob to another man, be it heterosexual sex or homosexual sex. The content of concern is not about the sexuality or the sex education, but the method in which sex education is being taught to kindergartens, teenagers, and to the next generation. Before we proceed on this news, my name is Simeon Chimerize Henry Ahonaya, and this is Breaking News Wahala, and I have with me Kelechi Achafo. Welcome, Mr. Kelechi.
Thank you so much.
Kelechi, our founder, co-host, and also always here, number one fan of Q Talk and Breaking News Valhalla. Okay, viewers, just take a glimpse of these videos and we'll be right back and we'll talk about the pressing matters.
This is what I found in the library on Kauai, and it's really atrocious. These are just some of the few books I found. I couldn't bring them all from Kauai. This is one of them, What Makes a Baby. In this book, there is no babies anymore, there's no men, there's no woman, there's bodies with uterus and bodies with a sperm. They're removing the word man or woman. Red is for kindergartners. It's a book that's telling kids they could be on the wrong body. This is for 3 years old.
They could be in the wrong body.
In the wrong body. This is for 10 years old. 10 years old, you guys. It's perfectly normal.
Isn't it crazy?
It's not
10 years old?
Whether it's heterosexual or homosexual.
I don't care. I don't care. This is not for a 10-year-old, you guys. Anybody has children here or cakey? This is not okay. Okay? This is gender queer. Sorry, you guys, but this is. I'm going to show it to everybody.
She's just
oral sex.
Yeah,
we have to be showing this kids section in the library, and this is in the schools. This is in the schools. Is this okay, you guys? I'm sorry. I'm a mom, your boys. This shouldn't be seen by little kids. So I know that the representative left, but please show them. This is what library.
Yeah, on
Public library.
Public library, wilding out here.
I know, and in public schools too, dear. And if you speak against this, you say, "Oh, you're anti-gay." I'm not anti-gay, but don't be showing porn to my kids.
Welcome back, viewers. Kelechi, you've seen this video. What do you have to say?
First of all, I want to say that video, it's first of all, it was very, very shameful. It's rather disgusting and shameful. I imagine myself as a father, a uncle, a brother, a son, or whatever situation it is. I'm not yet a father, let me say aspiring father, but an uncle, a brother, a son, a cousin, a man too. And when I see that, it aches me and it's rather shameful. First of all, the LGBT community need to step up their game in making sure that, because people are trying to paint that it's not something of sexuality, and I actually want to agree, because from the videos that we saw, from some of the pictures, you can also see heterosexual sex. So it was not only homosexual scenes that were in the book. But the title of the book was gender fluid or gender queer. I think that was it. Yeah, gender queer. I can remember of it. Yeah, that was the title of one of the books. And the other one was, I can't really get that one off it. One of it was gender queer. Now I remember that one vividly. And we know queer to be from the LGBT community. So whether you like it or not, it's still going to, the fingers are going to be pointed is to the LGBT community, mostly to it, and even worse to what, unanimously to it. And the comment section and the rest of them focus mostly on the LGBT community. That, they were the ones that are not trying to, project this new phenomenon, paint it as an euphoria, package it, and trying to also add heterosexual things in it, so it looks much more accepted, and so it doesn't look as if it's them. Let kids be kids. I've always said this before. We have no business. We know, yes, with the rising, sexual molestation worldwide, with the rising trend of sex worldwide, even with some countries shamelessly bound down to pressure and reducing the age of consent. I find that rather shameful. The age of consent should be 18 years. Forget what happened between, I know most of us, people would put up 1001 arguments. I'm also falling among that too. That yes, some of us were exposed sexually younger than the age of 18 years. But whether we like it or not, the age of consent must be made 18. Before I used to, tackle that. But when growing up now, I know much more better. I know why we should keep it at 18. I know how we should play it at 18. Children, teenagers, adolescents must be protected till the age of 18 years, and then they can go explore their life and whatever they want to be. We must not shamelessly be cowards and bow down to such ridiculousness. I get the fact that, yes, the sentiment, because I also share with that sentiment before, that because if children can be exposed to things like fairy tale, like ogres, like shark tales, like talking fish, like flying ponies, things that don't exist, why should they not learn about things that actually affect them, like the reproductive system? I get that sentiment too. But whether we like it or not, that sentiment must be turned around and said that they are still kids. Kids should focus. Because when I was a child, what I cared about was Barbie, was Biker Mice from Mars, was Pinky and the Brain, was Dexter, was Johnny Bravo, was Silverhawk, was things like that, Cow and Chicken, was I Am Weasel, was Samuel X, was
Popeye, Ben 10, Fred Flintstone, Samurai Jacks.
Yeah, that's all I cared about. There was the issues that was what occupied my brain, and maybe plays away with 10 after and one original Panadol. So those were the things I cared about, and maybe about education, about education too. But you see kids these days, like it seems as if as young as 10 years, they can even watch what I was seeing on one day shamelessly on Instagram, and the family was shamelessly recording, trying to mimic what the father and the mother, the way they have sex. And that child should not be more than 12 years old. It's a declining, it's a shame on the community. As LGBT members, we must not be cowards. We need to call out what is shameful. Kids should be kids, not a 12-year-olds now being recorded or 10-year-olds being recorded mimicking what their parents do in sexual intercourse, what they do at night. It's rather shameful. We must not be swayed away. We must not be cowards. We must come on TV, whether we like, even if they are going to cancel us, even if they are going to condemn us, we come and say, no, enough is enough. We are liberal people. We are people who also believe in liberality. But liberal does not mean exposing toddlers to graphic and explicit content. They are during that young stage, their heads and their mind is still at the building block stage. It's still and what must be the building block? Must be education, must be invention, must be, what's the word?
But won't you say sex education is actually education? Yeah, I can hear you. Won't you say, yeah, I can hear you. Can't you hear me?
Sex education must start. That's what I believe must be from 12 years and beyond. From 12 years and beyond.
So what do we teach? What are we supposed to teach kids who are 1 to 11?
Teaching them from 1 to 11 is how to defend themselves, how to report issues, how to know that this is wrong, how to know that this is bad, how to know that anything sexual must be cancelled. Because I know a person who did a fantastic job on her son. So the fact that whether we like it or not, children are now being weaponized, now being targeted. There was a news that I think I will fail to report about a 70-year-old man. No, he was 73. I'm sure you saw that news. I sent it to you. I don't know if you paid attention to it. Because it was one of the most fascinating news I've seen. Not really fascinating, but in a way to show how decay the world is. A 70-something-year-old man who had about 250,000 porn images recorded by either himself
I saw the news.
Yeah.
The police arrested.
This was not him putting out different video. This was him. Was over a period of, I think, 20-something years.
Collecting his collection, personal collection.
Collecting his personal collection, but personal. That means that you was him having access to those things to over 250,000. This is just one person, 250,000. I know a person who did a fantastic job on her son. That whenever he sees porn content, because now they made it when we are browsing or even going through gospel sites. The other day I was going through I barely visit gospel sites. I was trying to find out something about a gospel artist, and the next thing that popped up was, Cynthia is available for you to chat with a naked breast. On the gospel site, on
Lord of Jesus.
on the gospel site, that Cynthia Susan is available for you to chat. a semi-naked girl. And I imagine if this was a young boy that was on that side, because the mother taught her son that go away from this side. And that's what he does. Whenever he sees those side, he cancels it once away. That's also to teach children. What's watching easy from at least age 1 to age 12, 10 to 12.
From age 1 to 12 should not even have. Age 1 to 12 should not even have access to the internet. It's too.
To phones. Yeah, but but now, but sometimes now, most of them need to know the kind of assignments you give now. You are forced to go on the internet and make them.
If we can make electronic devices that are specific for healthcare, if we can make specific devices that are specific for scanning cards, we can make specific devices that are only accessible for academic work. There is no excuse. We've made devices that can track only HIV or COVID. So there is no excuse saying, oh, they need us. No, we can make devices that are strictly educational. I remember when I was going to school, if you go to the University of Libary and you want to access some sites, you cannot, no matter what you use VPN, use anything, you cannot access sexually exclusive content using the Libary devices or the Wi-Fi. We can block these things. So there is no excuse. Carry on.
Yeah, that's what I agree with you, to be honest. And that's why I said these days we can only be only be watchful. But for me, I've always said this thing that for me, as long as I have a voice and continue to speak on it, I'm going to continue to condemn things like this. It has no place in our 21st century. It should not be welcome. It should not be thrown with open arms. It should not be sugar-coated. And people now saying, because there are shameless videos like that. Even I saw one of a teacher saying that when she came into teaching elementary school, toddlers, and trying to explain that she was trans. Oh, these are my preferred pronouns. I am this, and that. And I found that extremely shameful. She should have been fired and thrown out. I think she was later fired and thrown out of the school. That's what we should do to them. Like, things like this should be heavily resisted. Timmy, is over to you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Achafo, for that input. It was splendid. Just wrapping it off, my own personal opinion. I have a lot to say, but I'm just going to point 3 things out here. 1, kids should not be exposed to pornography. Pornography has become the new addiction of the day. You see even ministers struggling with pornography. Christian warriors, everybody has a form or a type of pornography. And this pornography addiction is not choice. Like Kelechi earlier stated, you could be browsing through something, it is thrown at your face. You're going through Instagram, it is thrown at your face. You're going through Facebook, it is thrown at your face. How did we become so sexual that in short, the other day I was in a studio, working, and we had this conversation, and we were just having a regular conversation, and my friends were just talking about pronouns and kids and this thing, and I say this and I'll continue to say it. If an American 1-year-old child, 2-year-old child, 10-year-old child, our focus on this 1 to 10 years old is pronouns, is transgenders, is transition wrongs in the body. There is something wrong with America. The next generation, we are building a breed of dumb sexual slaves for the next generation. A child in China is reading 1 times table to even 20 times table. A child in China is not sitting down looking at TikTok. A child in China is in the biometric lab learning about matter, biology, learning about ambience, learning about all the things, the microorganisms and germs that makes up the whole world. A child in China is learning about physics. A child in China is learning about literature. A child in China can sit down and write a whole poetic sonnet and give you a poetic body of work. And we in America and in Canada are fighting about he, she, they. We are foolish. The LGBT community, we have nothing to offer. If what I will sit down here and be talking about is how you feel and saying, oh, if I call you this, you feel like this, instead of addressing the traumas you've gone through. What we are doing is plastering your traumas instead of confronting it and going to the root level to deal with these traumas. Then we are building psychopaths that can take guns, that can take vehicles and run people out because we are not addressing the cocoa of the matter. And I will say this with my full chest. Let America come. Let the community come. We need to start addressing our community. Our community has nothing to offer. All we have to offer is OnlyFans. All we have to offer is liposurgeons, yash, big yash. All we have to offer is sex. All we have to offer is drugs. All we have to offer is threesomes. Is that a community? The LGBTQ community in Toronto is boasting of steamworks, is boasting of sex houses, is boasting of glorious holes. Are you kidding me? No, Kelechi, are you kidding me? Have we gotten to that levels instead of us as a community to be boasting of doctors, to be boasting of lawyers, to be boasting? Somebody even told me that why I don't have a relationship is because I sound like a father. I know too much. I sound like a weirdo. They need someone that is sexually freaky. We are doomed. No principles, no morals. People who take time to create things are overlooked. People who take time to build things are overlooked. But people who stay on Instagram and shaking ass and show six packs are celebrated. We are building a wrong society. And that is what is happening. The LGBTQ community is not a sexual community. Yes, we have sexual identity. Yes, pronouns should be there. Yes, LGBTQ rights should be there. Yes, LGBTQ community should be celebrated. Yes, everybody should have equal rights. But at the same time, we get tired. Anything. Why marriages are collapsing is because people who come into this relationship has no thinking capability. All they have is pornography, sex, blowjob. We've lost it. Right now, we need to restrain our step. We need to put solutions. I'm not going to say things without putting solution. Solutions should be made. School works, school children, kindergartens should be monitored. If we can monitor sexual predators, we should also, sexual predators are not only people who molest children. People who write this kind of books are pedophiles. People who write this kind of books are sexual children predators. They cannot do it in the physical, they do it with the oral. They do it with the write-ups. These are the same people. There should be penalty for people who produce such books. They should have imprisonment. They should be fined. Institutions who do not go through checkmating the books they put in their libraries should be fined. Schools who have teachers and refuse not to bring out these pedophiles who harass these children, either verbally, physically, or mentally, should also be fined. LGBTQ content should be monitored and censored. A drag queen has no business teaching my children as a queer person anything. A drag queen is a sexual person to produce sexual dance, private dances, and sexual content for he or her adults. Those must be adult content. So let us put principles, let us put rules, let us put fines, and let us put imprisonment in place for people who defy all these things. Till today, nobody has no excuse of molesting a child. That has been Breaking News Wahala, and I remain Chimere Henry, and see you next time.